is Susan May Dragon Porter. That is, alright, one of the guys that I know that I prevented from stabbing somebody to death. Also somebody who decided to commit sort of a hate crime against a homosexual, except Ryan turned out he's not actually homosexual, he was just pretending to be to get women to like him. But he was actually beaten up because the guy that he wouldn't have relations with, named Kelly Engel, well, Ryan didn't want to have relations with him. So Kelly went and told everybody he was a cop caller. I got in between Danny when he was messed up one night and the guy that he wanted to stab to death. Since I got between the two, he didn't stab anybody to death. And as a result, he gets to be a daddy now. Next one over is Joshua Orwig. He introduced himself as Ears, because he's got some pretty big ears. He's a useless friend as well. I'm surprised he's still on my friends list. I've heard a lot of things about him that aren't so good, but that doesn't make them true. I understand he ain't exactly popular either, but that don't make him a bad guy. Other than not being a friend, he's not a bad guy, so far as I'm aware. There's a lot of guys who aren't your idea of hunky. And if they ask you out, you know what? It's because they like you. There's something about you they like. The same as that attractive guy you said yes to. And just because the guy asked you out doesn't mean that he's a creeper. If you ask Jessica Martindale how many times I asked her out, she'll tell you once. Because I only asked her out once. I accept no. Pretty easy. I'm also very good about respecting people's boundaries, so provided as they respect mine, and that is never the case, is it? Instead of trying to listen, to understand, people are too busy arguing everything I say. They want to argue. How about look at the evidence? No, they want to argue. They want to say it doesn't make any difference. The hell it doesn't. No, Sean, we need to do this. No. Fine, we'll jump through the hoops you want. Well, you don't even make it to your appointments. You don't make your phone calls. You just don't. You're gonna, but you just don't. That's insanity. The guy on the far right, that's Jayhawk. He's Leitha Plunkett, her son and her daughter's dad. Now, Jay, he is recorded on this YouTube channel. He admits to a situation where people were dying, and he got out. He's also the father of Gabriel Plunkett. That's the son who's also got Asperger's, and he's an adult now. Leitha Plunkett and her, I guess, live-in partner is the best way to say it. His name is Ken Wilson. They took advantage of me, ripped me off, had absolutely no regard whatsoever for my abilities or disabilities. Now, I was renting the place in Chapel, but I didn't have any real friends there. At least if I was close to Boulder, I could see my friends. I could be there for them if they needed it. And when they needed it and they got a hold of me, I helped them how they needed. You can ask Bailey Beers. You can ask OSHA. I tried the best I could. When my friends asked for help, I helped them how they needed. When Brandon needed to find his brother, I helped how I could. I got the word out. How difficult was that? Did I have to argue for 6 goddamn years for him to figure out what that meant? Every single one of these people who say, I don't know how. You don't know how to open your mouth. You don't know how to share information. You don't know how to share evidence. You don't know how. You don't know how. Don't fucking lie to me. Have more respect for yourself than that. With Kaitlynne Tatum, you get to see she's not a bad person. She just made a mistake. And that mistake didn't make her a bad person, but trying to cover it up, trying to hide it, not coming forward with it when it needed to be come forward with. People wanted to give me pretty words. Oh, Sean, have faith, have hope. God didn't commit these sins against me. Are you fucking kidding me? Those saying give it to God aren't seeing the ones that are threatening to kill me. All sorts of other creepy ass shit. They're not bothering to try. What Kaitlynne's not understanding is that I need to be allowed to defend myself in court, even with as little evidence as I have left after all the thefts, all of the moves, all of the people stealing from me and taking advantage of me, all the cops doing all the fucked up shit that they could possibly do to get their grubby mitts on it. Officers I was trying to turn in, knowing I was trying to turn them in for multiple crimes against me, including assaults. Got to commit felonies, to have me locked up for charges that should have never been pressed against me. I was trying to turn in my predators, but without help. Without help. Dallas Richmond was not going to help. He didn't give a fuck, except when somebody at work talked to him. Then he'd come home and he'd bitch at me. Now, for the most part, he didn't ask for money while I was there. He didn't have to. If he told me there was a bill that wasn't getting paid and he was sorry, I'd just give him the money for it. He'd say, no, Schwartzy, you don't need to do that. And I'd say, well, I need the internet, so yeah, I do need to do that. For Scott DaCosta to cut me off from the internet the way that he did, to assault me for trying to turn him in, I'd been trying since 2018. Like, you guys have no fucking clue what it's like when nobody cares, so you're getting sent back to the guys you're trying to turn in. Fucking help me turn him in, you piece of shit! It's a fucking conflict of interest for me to be sent to the same fucking officer I'm trying to turn in any crimes. But Kaitlynne Tatum, she's one of many, 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 many people who I reached out to. They were too busy. They were too busy to care. And they were too busy telling me how busy they were with their trivial shit to even hear what the problem was. Like, holy fuck. Then they typed their fucked up assumptions at me over and over and over again. Holy shit, I can't fucking defend myself against your bullshit. Find out what the fuck is going on if you're a friend. I get if you don't have the time to check in on all of your friends, but when your friends are checking in with you and saying, hey, holy shit, what the fuck? The cops outright fucking lied repeatedly, and you're a witness to that. Kaitlynne Tatum isn't the only one. It didn't matter how hard I fucking tried as long as you looked away. As long as you looked away, they could do whatever they fucking wanted. And there are things that can be done to prevent this kind of abuse. But it requires friends and family. And you guys didn't want to hear that. You were too busy not being friends and not being family. You were too busy thinking about yourselves. You tell me, oh, I was thinking about you. No, the fuck you weren't. I wasn't even a second thought in your head at any point in time until I reached out to you. You didn't give a fuck. You still don't. Tell the truth. Did I reach out to you for help? I mean, by now we got, what, 200 people? 200 people at least. Recorded on my YouTube channel. Multiple conversations showing I was trying to get help. I was specifically trying to get the help that I needed. But without that, I end up in a situation like being here in Tillamook or in the Dalles or in Hood River, where I'm constantly being told that I need to move, I need to move, I need to move. Meanwhile, I have to stay put, I have to stay put, I have to stay put. Hey, Sean, you need to stay there and get the services. Hey, Sean, you need to move away from your predators. Hey, Sean, you need to leave well enough alone to know when to move on. Well, how do I move on from people fucking abusing me everywhere I fucking go? Because I'm fucking homeless and broke and fucking alone. Every time I move to a new place, I'm the odd man out. That doesn't give you a clean slate, that gives you suspicion. People don't care what the fucking reality of the situation is. There's a lot of witnesses to the assaults, to the abuse. And police will lie to you and say that you can't make a report. You absolutely can, even if it's against another individual. When they lie to people and say you can't make a report, I got plenty of people that told me that, and they're recorded on this YouTube channel. Why is it that the police and my predators have fought so fucking hard to try to pretend to the public that I'm some crazy schizophrenic nut job? It's because they fucked up. Just like Kaitlynne Tatum fucked up. Just like Danny Francis fucked up. Just like Natalie Marie Bollinger fucked up. When somebody is being fucking abused, even if you're not friends anymore, it doesn't matter. There are plenty of people I don't fucking like. Lots of people that I don't fucking like. I don't like Zaid Atkinson. I've never even met the guy. But I don't like him because I know his situation. I know the officers involved. I've been assaulted by the officers involved. I know exactly what that kind of fucking treatment is like, and Zaid Atkinson got fucking lucky. But he wanted to sell a racist narrative for an easy victory, throwing every single other victim in Boulder under the bus. Every single homeless person under the bus. The homeless are not heard. The police hurt a lot of people. They get physically destructive and physically violent with a lot of people. But as long as it's homeless people, you don't care. If Zaid Atkinson had been homeless, nobody would have given a fuck. 60 Minutes would have gone, dude, you're barking up the wrong goddamn tree. We're busy selling the narrative that, another homeless, mentally ill person is out trying to start fights with cops. Zaid Atkinson got lucky because he lived in a house. Michelle Rodriguez, nobody gave a shit until she was in a house. That's why it was so important to get her into a house. That's why it was so important for me to get into a place as well. But being stuck in government housing without anybody who fucking cared. I mean, hell, there were witnesses galore in Chapel, Nebraska could have spoke up. Instead, they just let people hurt me. Just let these people get away. And the excuse of, oh, well, they're afraid. I don't give a shit. I'm afraid too. If you're gonna hide like a fucking coward when they threaten your kids, keep in mind there's a lot of people that told me their kids were fucking threatened. They said they could handle it. And then these web sleuths started doing this shit to them. And no matter how much evidence I got, it doesn't matter because Kaitlynne Tatum doesn't give a shit. So we tried it her way. And that's the thing about people believing that they should be allowed the power and the control. Sean, if I'm going to help you, here's how it's going to go. No, that's not how it's going to go. All right? I am putting my fucking foot down. I have fucking boundaries. You tell the truth or you get the fuck off my friends list. If you can't be fucking honest, you're not a friend. Pretty fucking simple. Now, if your words didn't come together properly and you unintentionally misled the situation, I'll give you the chance to say that. But not if you're busy throwing shit in my face that you weren't even fucking there for as an excuse to not even fucking listen and making every excuse why, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. It fucking does matter, you fucking stupid piece of shit. There's these people who want to say, oh, well, you know, hearsay isn't admissible in court. It's not hearsay. If it was hearsay, then I wouldn't be asking for you to fucking speak up. You telling me that you would do something isn't hearsay. There's evidence that it fucking happened. It doesn't matter, though, because without you speaking up and admitting that it happened, the mentally ill treatment, mentally ill, mentally ill, mentally ill. No, fuck you. You are not a friend if you would allow this to happen to people. You are fucking preaching to the goddamn peanut gallery, telling me, yeah, I know the homeless this and mentally ill that, and yeah, but are you speaking out? Are you speaking out for the victims, or is it only specific victims? Kaitlynne Tatum only cares about, apparently, if you're an LGBT victim. Same thing with Danny Francis. What about the other victims? Are you speaking out for them? How about the LGBT victims? Are you speaking out for any of those individuals? Do you know any of those individuals who are currently going through this shit right now? Are you speaking up for them? No, you're not. When you want to tell someone you don't think it matters, it doesn't matter, and that's your excuse for 6 goddamn years. It does fucking matter. Just because you won't look at why it matters, that's not my fault. That's your fuck up. You want to show again that you're just a fuck up as a friend. Well, now you're not a friend. You get to decide if you get to be a fuck up as a human being. Kaitlynne Tatum, Danny Francis, both these women did exactly the same thing. It's not my fault you don't understand. It's not. The fact that you haven't tried to understand is entirely on you. The fact that when I needed someone to do some friends and family shit, you was not a friend nor a family. Well, that's on you as well. I get that this is not a fucking easy thing for anybody to take. But that's the problem with you guys not listening. Is it wouldn't have gotten this bad if you'd have been actual friends. And when you want to get on years after the fact and say, oh, I'll be that friend now. But you're not. You're not being honest. You're not being honest with the public. You're not helping me turn this shit in. Because in order to turn it in, you have to actually care. You can't be the I'm sorry type. You have to be the, really? Well, that's fucked up. Let's do something about it. Fucking give me the fuel I need to take these son of a bitches down. You got proof that these guys are fucking molesting children? Let's fucking take these son of a bitches down. You got evidence about human trafficking? Let's take these son of a bitches down. You got proof that people are abusing you? Let's take them down. No more of this violence crap. That's everybody's fucking solution. The thing with Kaitlynne is that if she actually cared, she would have taken the time to at least listen to the video with Marcia Estrada. But she didn't. I gotta go try to panhandle some money up so that I can... I don't know. I mean, my car isn't gonna keep me warm now, so I probably gotta buy an extra pair of pants, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to get my vehicle legal. And this is all the shit that she doesn't want to hear. See, she wants to tell me about her logistics issues, but she doesn't want to hear about mine. Meanwhile, she wants to state the obvious as if I am too fucking retarded to realize that, yes, Colorado is a different fucking state. I'm well fucking aware of that. So instead of let's argue in typing, instead of doing that, and you making every obvious fucking no shit, Sherlock. See, that's one of the things about this shit. If I've ever pulled out my paperwork, I'm certain that I have repeatedly on this channel. There's a super important one, and I'm sure you know why it's super important. Because it's got the guidelines on it that I've been trying to get my friends and family to fucking listen to and follow since day one. But they're busy arguing, and when they're lied to, they just want to use that as an excuse to quit. No, you know goddamn well that it's a fucking excuse, and that you were lied to. That's the problem with people like Kaitlynne Tatum. If it was illegal, then why were my abusers allowed to do such things? If it's so illegal, then why were my abusers allowed? Why is it that the rules are different for me than they are for the people who harm me? Why is it that you get to use the term mentally ill to deny me all of my rights? See, nobody really got to know me. Some people remembered a little bit about me here and there. There's a lot of people that forever and a day, people are like, yeah, this person or that person was telling me you're a hell of an artist, you're a hell of an artist, you're a hell of an artist. If I mentioned to them today that I was an artist, they'd be like, I didn't know you were an artist. Well, yeah, out of sight, out of mind, you forget people. I became just a name. Over time, you replaced me with new memories, new thoughts, new opinions. You gathered new influences. And you're allowed to advance and grow on as a person. You're allowed to move on. So am I. But just because you're allowed to move on doesn't mean that people will let you. That's the thing about you guys not coming forward, is that there was a lot of evidence that showed that I was the victim the entire fucking time. And even though there's still a lot of that evidence, there's a lot of it that's been lost, stolen, or destroyed because you guys didn't give a shit. Kaitlynne Tatum could have given a shit years ago. Kayla Trujillo could have given a shit years ago. They didn't, though. So I had to go to Shannon Alvarado, who I didn't know, and try to believe people like Kara Johnson Miles, who I didn't know. I had to stay with people that I did know that were witnesses, that I needed them to be witnesses. I didn't need Brett Roloff getting fucked up on methamphetamines and fucking digging through his own feces for a bag that he swallowed. That's on my YouTube channel, him digging through his own poo for a bag of methamphetamines. There's also conversations with him on my channel that showed I told the truth. Brett Roloff, aka Moose. You know how you can tell if you're someone's pet project? They'll talk nice to you and tell you pretty things, but when you tell them about abuse that you're going through, they're going to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you can tell that you're going to get the I'm sorry's out of that person before you ever ask them. Before you ever try to approach them and ask them for help. You already know that they don't invite you to go places. They don't go camping with you. They don't invite you to the beach. You don't go to the movies with these people. You're not a part of their study group even. I mean, they have as little to do with you as possible, but at least they're nice while you're there. And that makes people feel better. It gives them a false sense of security, and that's what the United States has. A false sense of security. Most of y'all, it's because you have credit. You have credit because you had a good start. Any gap in your housing is used against you. If you were dropped off at 18 years of age, anything between when you turned 18 and when you finally are able to get a place is held against you. Meanwhile, if you ain't even got an ID because you aged out of the system, and none of the programs that are in place are going to help you because you can't even make it to the fucking meetings, and these places want to tell you that it's free. How many of these places have I driven to? I have driven across the country twice. But in all those places, rather than take a look and find out what's going on and show a genuine fucking interest, these people want to argue because, well, they care about what other people think after telling me I shouldn't care what other people think. If I ask you to leave nicely, that's an open invitation for you to leave nicely. Not to bullshit me, not to, all right, Sean, I'm going to do all the talking and we're going to do it my way. Fine. Your name's going to be all over fucking Facebook. It's going to be all over YouTube, but sure, we'll do it your way. Obviously, just like everybody else, it's your way, your way, your way, your way. And there's all these people who wanted it their way. And when I tried it their way, it was used against me. And these people don't want to fucking come forward about that, do they? When I tried to go to Nebraska for my safety after Natalie was killed, there's a lot of people there that might have done the right thing at the very start, but I was cut off from them. Just like I was cut off from many of my friends and family in Boulder. Why was I cut off? Because of lies. On my paperwork here, I went to my friends and family because I was being physically abused. It says, what are the different kinds of abuse and neglect? Physical abuse. This includes rough handling, threats with a weapon, throwing objects, pushing, hitting, hair pulling, force feeding, and improper use of restraints or medicines. All of the above for 6 fucking years because you don't give a shit. Sexual abuse. This involves unwanted sexual contact that is forced or tricked. But you don't give a shit. This is because you didn't want to admit to the truth. Did I go to you for fucking help? Did I go to you for help? Did I try to get a hold of you. The police and all of my court dates, all of their documents. There are witnesses recorded on my channel that show that what those fucking cops said was wrong. The problem is me going in by myself, being stuck in this position, being stuck with all of my money going down the fucking toilet because I don't have a friend in the fucking world. Emotional abuse. This is the type that you get from me. I can steer clear of the other shit. Says rough handling. Nope. Not into that. Threats with a weapon. Nope. Not into that. Throwing objects. Nope. Not into that. Pushing. Nope. Not into that. Hitting. Definitely not into that. Hair pulling. Not into that. Force feeding. Not into that. It says an improper use of restraints or medicines. Not into that either. Sexual abuse. This involves unwanted sexual contact that is forced or tricked. Not that either. Emotional abuse. This is me. This is me to the max. This includes verbal attacks. Oh, you're getting them. Do you like it? See, when I said that there's stuff I'm not willing to do, this stuff at the top, I'm not willing to do that shit or that shit. But here on the bottom, when I say there's stuff I'm willing to do back, out of necessity, because I have no actual friends or family, well, yeah, that's emotional abuse. I am emotionally abusive. Am I going to pretend I'm not? That doesn't do anybody any fucking good. Why am I emotionally abusive? It says this includes verbal attacks, rejection. Yeah, if you're gonna fucking bullshit me about being my friend, get the fuck out. You rejected me already. You outright reject me every time I talk to you or try to. You go out of your way to let me know that no matter what's going on in my life that you're not even listening to, that literally anything, including going to get a Louis Vuitton bag this weekend, is more important than my life. It says humiliation. Yes, I will humiliate you. I will tell the world the truth. And I will show them the truth. I get that you're fucking embarrassed. You should be. You fucking should be. You fucking pretended to be a disabled person's friend. And then you let people do whatever the fuck they wanted to the guy. It says intimidation. Well, I have done that. Now my question is information a weapon? When it comes to what's necessary, if I have to do anything other than the stuff on the bottom of the list, it's going to be property damage, and only if necessary for the preservation of human life. Do you not get that? It says social isolation. Well, none of them are socially isolated. I am. Social isolation or threats. What kind of threats? Because I've been dealing with all of these threats. Threats of physical abuse, threats of sexual abuse. Definitely lots of emotional abuse. It says abuse may also include denying the person participation in decisions that affect his or her life. You mean like Kaitlynne Tatum only wanting to do things her way, knowing absolutely nothing about the goddamn situation? You mean that kind of participation? What's the help that I fucking need, you twit? Financial abuse. This is one that all of these people have taken advantage of. They know that I don't have the finances to just sit around and wait on them. I can't do these things myself, and 6 years is enough. There's a reason it goes on the internet. It says financial abuse. This includes theft. That's happened a lot. Fraud. That has happened a lot. Improper use of influence to gain control over money or property. That has happened a lot, including with Scott DaCosta and Leslie Snell and William Barr. It says financial abuse is the most common form of elder abuse. That's also disability abuse. But when you're disabled, they want to send you to mental health, and mental health says they don't do anything. That's the problem with having absolutely nobody, is that you are automatically assumed to be guilty, you're assumed to be crazy, and you're locked up for trying to get fucking help. It says neglect. This is a caretaker's failure or refusal to meet the needs of an older person. This can include failure or refusal to provide food, shelter, clothing, personal hygiene, medical care, and social stimulation. Well, I've been deprived entirely of social stimulation. I am scared shitless of the world that I live in, because there are only selfish people left in the world. People like me don't actually exist. I might as well be a fucking unicorn. What are the risk factors for abuse and neglect? Is alone, isolated, or lonely? Has experienced a recent loss? Is mentally or physically disabled? All of the above so far. Cannot manage his or her personal care or finances? That one right there as well. This is all stuff that abuse has prevented me from doing. Abuse has prevented me from being able to do these things for myself. Abuse. That includes neglect from my friends and family. They'll only help me if they don't have to tell the truth. No. Because the only thing that is going to stop this is you telling the truth. You fucking morons. It says, has contact with someone who abuses alcohol or drugs. Holy shit. Where do we even start with that list? We'll start off with my mother, my older brother, my little sister, my little brother, my dad. That's a good start, isn't it? And if y'all want to push it, fine, we'll push it. How about Lana Engeline and Amanda Engeline? How about Jerry Sparks? How about Brenda Dickinson? How about Teresa Orn? How about Shannon Alvarado? How about Brett Roloff? How about Stephen McMillian? How about Stephen Green? Both of those are dead, by the way, but who cares, right? You guys didn't know them. They don't have faces to you. It's just a word. Oh, he's saying words again. How about Natalie Bollinger? How about Alicia Bollinger? How about Maddie Boa? How about Ted Bollinger? How about Tim Beeson? How about Danica Garner or Rochelle Shelley Campbell? How about Rose M. Kelly? Half of Natalie's family wanted to pretend like they was going to be friends with me, and they were going to try to help get the truth out. They were going to try to help stop the abuse. I had to go to my fucking abusers for help. I had to go to the opposition for help. I had to go to Natalie's family. Sorry, they came to me. I should probably admit that. Danica Garner came to me. Rochelle Shelley Campbell came to me. And of course, Rose M. Kelly came to me. Oh, and also Alicia Bollinger came to me. Says is over 75 years old. The frequency of abuse increases with advancing age. And for me, I'm obviously not physically able to take care of myself. I do look older than I am, but the thing is that I am physically not well. I am physically in constant pain. It says lives at a care facility with a shortage of beds, too many patients, or not enough staff. Well, let's take a look at my care facility. I'm not in a care facility. Does not have necessary medical and personal items such as medicines, hearing aids, or eyeglasses. Shows behavioral signs of abuse or neglect. You guys might want to listen to this one. Shows behavioral signs of abuse or neglect. Move away from or seem afraid of a caregiver. I'm afraid of all of you. If I come to you for help, you're going to dismiss me outright and blow me off. Says withdraw socially. Yup, for goddamn sure. I had to move repeatedly because of abuse. My friends didn't want to fucking look. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to pay any fucking attention. I didn't matter. I fucking still don't. Most of them, the only reason that they ever got back in contact with me, predators like my dad, is because they wanted me to take evidence down of how fucked up a person they are. Not a chance in hell. I've had injury to the genitals and difficulty walking. I've had bruises, sores, scars. I still got scars, obviously. It says become violent or agitated. Yeah. Fucking agitated. You goddamn right I'm agitated. There's a lot of fucking abuse that has gone on in the 6 years that you've been fucking ignoring this. Oh, they found Natalie's killer. That has not stopped anyone from fucking harming me. Do you not fucking get that? Oh yeah, the people that knew me in real life, of course, I'm their token retarded friend. I'm not the friend they actually give a shit about. How agitated am I? I'm fucking severely agitated, and I have to fucking be nice at all points in time. I'd rather be nice, but I'm scared shitless. I'm scared shitless for my evidence. My life doesn't matter without it. It says, seem depressed. Now, if you guys have watched the videos that I made about committing suicide versus being suicidal, the suicide prevention stuff, this is all explaining it. This is their own paperwork. Seem depressed. What do you do when somebody seems depressed? You fucking blow them off, or you tell them pretty words. Oh, Sean, you just need to love yourself. Jesus, fuck. And it's not just that. I mean, I'm literally telling these people, doing my best to try to tell them about the abuse I'm going through. And it's that's nice, dear treatment. The I'm sorry that happened to you treatment. The well, I'll pretend to care next year, maybe. Maybe when my life is perfect, I'll speak up, Sean. This is has nightmares or difficulty sleeping. Yeah. Fucking duh. I have nightmares about the abuse that I've had to endure because none of my fucking friends or family cared. You know what an emotional nightmare is? You can't get to sleep because you know that all it would take is one of these son of a bitches telling the truth. And here you are, you're trying to maintain a friendship. And you've been trying to maintain a friendship, but they moved on and it never was an actual friendship. Meanwhile, your friendship never been tested before because when they needed help, you were right there. When they needed help, you showed right up. But when I need help, people always have ulterior motives. Like Stephanie Mejia going on vacation and riding Ventus's dick. Ventus was going to help me, and Stephanie was going to help me, and instead they just ripped me off for all my money and spent it fucking around. It says, lives in an unhealthy or unsafe environment. Well, this is pretty fucking unsafe. That's the problem with not having anybody involved and me being forced to move over and over again. It says shows signs of not being cared for, such as poor hygiene or dirty clothes. Fuck. And then when it talks about how it can be prevented, and of course it's the elder abuse paperwork because the hospital fucks up often. If they'd have given me the right paperwork, I could show you. They try spawning us off onto a mental health provider who tells us it's not their job. But the problem is, by the time it gets to the point where police are committing crimes against me, I can't go to their department. They're gonna blow me off. I'm a fucking homeless person. You can't expect Kaitlynne Tatum, a pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl, to understand that. Of course, she's only blonde when she dyes her hair, so there's that too. It says, if you are a friend or family member, this is who it addresses first, because without a friend or family member, people can do whatever they want. That includes the police, and they are more likely to abuse that power if you're alone. The hospitals are more likely to just accept it as fact because a police officer said it if the victim is alone. It says, try to see the person regularly. Frequent visits will help you determine if the person shows signs of abuse or neglect. Well, how many times have you tried to see me? I mean, even if I message you and you say you'll get back to me tomorrow, I might have anywhere from 2 years to, or from 6 months to 2 years before you ever message me back. And I'm sorry it doesn't fix that. Be honest about it. Be honest to the public and be honest with your words. If you were frustrated or flustered and your words didn't come out right, you know what? There's a lot of you right there at the very end when you was pissed off and typed shit you probably shouldn't have typed. I'm one of the few people who's going to understand that you were being a fucking dickhead because you were frustrated. But you're not going to try to understand that, or try to look at the fact that I reached out nicely over and over and over again. I reached out nicely to a lot of people, and that's the thing, is if you're not even willing to look at that, we just have to do it the way that you want it. No, that is abusive. You have no idea how horrible it is for the victim to be dismissed by the very people they're going to for help. Dismissed outright. Those people won't even take a look. Elder abuse is more likely to occur if the person is alone, isolated, or lonely. Alone, isolated, or lonely. One of the types of abuse here, it says failure or refusal to provide social stimulation. There's also, of course, people gaining control over my money or property, especially using their influence, like Scott DaCosta repeatedly. Anyway, for a friend or family member, this is how you're supposed to prevent it. And I did these things, the best of my abilities, alone, because I didn't have a friend or family member. But this is the friend and family member instructions here. Frequent visits will help you determine if the person shows signs of abuse or neglect. Get to know the staff who are taking care of the person. Like Will and Lolatai, Michelle Quinn, Scott DaCosta. How about Dallas Richmond? How about Shannon Alvarado? How about Brian Schwartz? How about Kayla Trujillo? What do you guys know about the Arapahoe County Jail or the Boulder County Jail and how rampant the violence from the guards is? But you guys don't care because I'm not the right color. I get it. I understand. I have a penis. I can't possibly be a victim of Boulder police. I can't possibly be a victim of sexual abuse or sexual assault. I have a penis. That's what you guys want to sell. And it's a sexist narrative. And it is a racist narrative that you guys want to push on all of us. No, do not punish me for what Bill Clinton did. Do not punish me for what people 150 years ago did. If you're going to punish me for what I did. Did I whip you? No. It says, oh, and also, what about Sarah Nelson of Lincoln Correction Center? How about Michelle Decini of Lincoln Correction Center? It says, express any concerns you may have right away. Keep notes of the conversations. Did you do it right away? Or did you pawn me off and pawn me off and pawn me off until you figured it'd been long enough that I should be over it? You're a fucking selfish piece of shit. It says take pictures if there are signs of abuse or poor health standards. Why bother? I tried. But that's the wonderful thing for law enforcement is they can abuse the shit out of you and then hold you as long as it takes for the bruising to go away. Repeatedly. It says offer to accompany the person to medical appointments, financial institutions, and other important meetings. Obviously, I don't have friends or family. I've got people who want to argue. Hundreds of people who want to argue against doing any of these things. Any excuse is a good excuse, right? You want to pretend to be my friend because I might be useful in the future. Well, you know what? If you're a victim of abuse, I might still be useful in the future. I don't like Zayd Atkinson. He's a racist asshole. I don't like Samuel Leon Lawrence IV. He's a pompous prick, self-absorbed, and only thinks about himself. Believes that he should get special treatment because he's disabled, but that other disabled people somehow deserve the treatment. Not okay, Sammy. Now, what do? Yes, I rail against the false narrative, but I admit that those men were victims. That is to all of our benefit. Whereas claiming that you were victimized because you were black by a black police officer, by the way. So this black police officer, Waylon Lolatai, assaulted a lot of people other than me. And Boulder's paying out the ass for that. But none of my friends bother to fucking listen, bother to care. They never did. That's the problem. They never cared. All right, Sean's got a problem. We'll pretend to hang out with him for a bit. We'll let him fucking sit on our couch while we play video games and get drunk. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, asshole. You should also look up the name Polly Olson. She is in my stories for a reason. All these people are. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind. Unless this is the stuff for preventing it if you're a disabled person. It says, remain active, avoid isolation, and cultivate a strong support network of family and friends. I have been cut off from that. All right, that's the thing about Natalie Bollinger and her fucking bullshit. That cut me off from all of my family or friends. That cut me off from my support network. But you don't try to understand that. Same thing with people like Devin Cockrell. She didn't understand that. You made a safe environment for me into an unsafe environment by having shitty assumptions and not discussing it like a fucking adult. Instead, you talk behind somebody's back like a fucking bitch. I'll say it loud and proud on Facebook if you won't hear it in real life and you won't hear it in a telephone call. If only you were allowed to say how you feel and how it makes you feel. God damn. It says, be active in taking care of your health problems. Do what you can to remain healthy. I don't have the money to remain healthy. I don't have the money to fucking feed myself. Between food and fucking my evidence, I gotta try to keep myself fed. You tell me I need to go to the places where they feed these things. I go to those places and I gotta deal with people like Farnsworth and Molly. Fuck no. If I go to those places, there's that whole advice of, well, if people are predatory towards you, stay away from them. Don't go where they go. Well, they eat too. So in order to avoid them, I got to avoid those places, even though there might be some support at those places. Avoid signing documents or transferring money or property to anyone without first getting legal advice. See, that's the thing, is I was denied legal advice. I was denied all of my fucking rights. You don't get that. You don't understand that. Kaitlynne Tatum can't give me legal advice, but that's exactly what she did over and over again. A lot of people wanted to give me legal advice. I didn't come to you for fucking advice, bitch. I came to you because you're a goddamn witness. Anything other than bearing true witness is fucking useless. Ask for professional help right away if you need help managing your health care, daily living, or finances. Holy shit, I've been doing that without friends or family, though nobody fucking cares. So I try to get my friends and family, hey, guys, please, fucking stop and look. Or go away. Kaitlynne Tatum didn't get the fucking hint. And it wasn't a hint. Assert your right to be treated with respect and dignity. Well, that just results in people playing victim now, doesn't it? Or playing fucking stupid. Or trying to bully me. Threatening to arrest me. Threatening to have me committed. Threatening all sorts of shit. Ask a family member or a friend you trust to represent you as power of attorney in case you need this. Refuse to allow anyone who you do not choose to become involved in your financial affairs. I didn't have a goddamn choice in any of that. It says outline your wishes with advance directives or a living will for medical decisions. I've gone in repeatedly and tried to get a do not resuscitate, and no matter what, there's some fucking excuse.